25 years. Your home for Minnesota Twins baseball.
Plenty of fans out to see the Twins return to Target Field tonight, hoping they can kick off the second half of the season with a win over the Indians. Well, it's been 15 days since the Twins last played a game here at Target Field, and a lot has changed since then. Most notably, the Twins have shaken up their roster, sending down 3 guys of AAA Rochester: Chris Parmalee, Oswaldo Arcia, and Eduardo Escobar. Now, to replace them, they've called up Chris Herman, Doug Bernier, and Chris Colabello. Now, Ron Gardenhire says he expects them all to provide a real spark for this team, especially on offense. He says they have all worked hard for this opportunity. Now they need to make the most of it. That opportunity starts tonight for at least one of them. When we come back, we'll take a look at some of the highlights from the first half of the season and what we can look forward to the rest of the way. Twins baseball right here on Fox Sports North.
Is presented by Northland Ford. Visit northlandford.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. By Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. And by a reminder from Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Designate a driver.
Another beautiful night for baseball here in downtown Minneapolis, where the Twins face a Cleveland club nipping at the Tigers' heels in the American League Central. The Twins 12 games back. Tom Hanneman, Tim Laudner back at Target Field, the beginning of the unofficial second half of this regular season. As you look forward, Tim, who or what stands out, looking ahead, gives you optimism for the team in the second half?
Well, since we talk so much about pitching, certainly for me, the second half is going to revolve around Sam Deduno and Kyle Gibson. These two young men have really come a long way. We're going to see a little bit more, obviously, of Kyle Gibson, but I like what I see from Sam Deduno. His confidence over last year, his more passionate, more confident when he starts. And for Kyle Gibson, he's a young man that's only had 4 major league starts. So between the two guys, they've got less than 30 major league starts. But these two guys are going to be the nucleus of the Minnesota Twins starting rotation in the years to come. Like to see how these guys are going to progress all the way through September 30th.
Vic Bramer and Tom Kelly, as you look back at the first 92 games, I'm curious who or what stands out for you gentlemen.
Well, one of the more flexible guys on the Twins roster has been Ryan Doman. Now, the Twins sent out 2 outfielders right before the All-Star break, so I suspect we'll see Doman a little bit more in the outfield now.
Yeah, he's been very valuable to Ron Gardenhire and the Twins. I think he's carried a lot of the load. He got some big RBIs for us in the first part of the season. Tweaked his ankle a little bit and then rebounded here lately with knocking in a lot of big runs and really making an impact in the center of the lineup. So I think he's been our MVP so far.
The center of the lineup brings to mind what the Twins would like to see accomplished in the second half, and that is some stability up the middle in the infield. Now, Pedro Florimo and Brian Dozier did all right up the middle, and Aaron Hicks in center.
They sure have. They've been. I think Dozier's just been fantastic at second base. He's made that transition very well. Florimon seems to play with more confidence day after day, and the more he plays, I think the better he's going to be. And now we got Doug Veneer to back them up, maybe get some playing time here and there. And again, I'm looking forward to the second half of the season. Like Timmy Loudner pointed out, pitch. If you don't pitch, it's hard to win.
Mike Pelfrey will get the ball as we begin the unofficial start of the second half of the season at home against the Indians.
Starts now on Fox Sports North. To do this, to feel the sun on my face, breathe in leather and oil, balance the bat in anticipation, and
tip my hat to 39,000 screaming fans, 39,000 screaming fans.
Breaking ball, got it.
I was born to do this, to take the field when needed most.
Now you got Glenn Perkins coming in to finish this ball game out.
Got
it. To bid hello and say goodbye.
Slider got him.
And shake hands under the lights.
Perkins with a 1-2-3-9.
To hold this baseball in my hand. In my hand.
Some things are not a coincidence.
Some things were meant to be from the beginning.
And I was
meant to be a ball player.
Got him.
Twins baseball starts now
on Fox Sports North.
Glenn Perkins, with some help from the Oakdale Marlins, getting the second half of the season underway, brings to mind one of my favorite baseball quotes from Jim Bouton. He said he spent his entire life gripping a baseball, and then at the end he realized it was the other way around all along. Baseball was gripping him. And Terry Francona, in his first year with the Indians, has the Indians within striking distance of the first place Detroit Tigers. And here is his batting order for the series opener, brought to you by Menards. Michael Bourne leading things off as Drupal Cabrera batting second. Jason Kipnis got a big RBI double for the American League Tuesday night. Nick Swisher, Michael Brantley, Carlos Santana, Lonnie Chisenhall, Jan Gomes, and Drew Stubbs. And out of the chute in the second half of the year, right-hander Mike Pelfrey will get the start for the Twins.
Mikey gets the nod here for Gardy and Rick Anderson. And again, I admire this guy big time, Dick, for what he's done and come back from the surgery. And he had a few rough moments at the beginning part of the year, but lately he's pitched pretty darn good. So again, let's hope that Mike can give us 7 strong innings tonight, or maybe more.
Be hearing Tom Kelly this weekend, filling in for Bert Blyleven. Michael Bourne in the box. Away we go. Strike one. Bourne, Cabrera, and Kipnis in the first against Pelfrey. Cracked foul. Bourne has had an okay but injury-plagued first half in his first year with the Indians, and if they're going to continue to put some heat on the Tigers and eventually surpass them, this might be the key guy in their whole lineup.
Well, probably next to the pitching staff here, probably in the lineup, you're absolutely right. This guy's got an abundance of speed. He'll get the ball in the outfield. And pretty good hitter. You're going to see some of these swings, I believe, from both teams. Remember now, most of the guys have not played in 4 days, so they could be a little bit tardy here until they get the hang of it again.
2 strikes to Michael Bourne. Dribble to the right side. Morneau goes to the bag and beats the speedy Bourne, 1 away. Northland Ford defense for the Minnesota Twins. With Arcia and Parmalee being sent out, Ryan Doman now moved to right field. Hicks in center. Cleet Thomas will be in left for the time being. Trevor Plouffe, Pedro Florimon, Brian Dozier, Justin Morneau, the infielders, and Joe Mauer behind the plate.
A lot of stability up the middle, and that's what each manager looks for, is that stability with the catcher, your middle infielders, and your center fielders. So let's hope we can keep this group intact for a while, and they can develop some consistency and learn each other's moves, know each other in and out, and the more they stay out there together, better off we're all going to be.
Fouled away. 1 strike to Cabrera. He too missed some time, a few weeks with a torn quadricep muscle. And the Indians will need him to be in the lineup on an everyday basis in the second half.
Yeah, they're going to have to really stay with it. They're 2 games behind in the loss column, and the ever so important loss column.
Over the inside corner, 0-2.
Now, we talked this morning on our little conference call that we have each morning when you do a telecast or broadcast, and the thing I mentioned was that the first round or 2 at-bats might be a little rough for the fellas. So far, with Bourne, the first at-bat, he about killed somebody in their dugout over there. Then he drilled one to first. That wasn't very pleasant for him. And right now here we're having some problems as well.
Fouled away. 8 pitches, 7 strikes for Pelfrey, who in the month of July has given the Twins his best to best back-to-back starts. 6 innings each time. No earned runs in Toronto against the Blue Jays, and 3 earned runs against the Rays in St. Petersburg. 1-2. Popped up wide of third, and Plouffe will go near the tarp.
Get over there.
And not have a play. Still 2 strikes.
Another jam shot right off the hands. Cabrera's been a real stable player for the Indians over the years, and as you pointed out, Dick, they're going to need him right in the center of this lineup here to create some runs, drive in some runs. I see he got 34 RBIs, and he missed. Gee, he must have missed at least almost a month of the season. So he's a big factor in the Indians lineup.
Missing inside, 2-2. You talked about the layoff during the All-Star break, and as necessary as it is for the players, they come back and naturally their swings are a little slow and all that. And that was with a 3-day break. Now everybody gets a 4-day break.
Good luck.
2-2. And another foul over by the tarp.
And that pitch was right down the middle. I'm sure Mikey didn't want to locate it there, but it was right down the middle, and the best Cabrera could do was a foul ball. Now, we should make note the Indians did have an optional workout last night, and so they were able to get a few swings in last night. So some of them are operating on a little more than 3 days would probably not swing in the bat, but again, still going to be a little rough.
Liner, Florimo dives to his right to make the catch. 2 away, and a good play by Florimo.
It's a real good pitch by Pelfrey, Dick. It's down and away. He got the one-hand swing by Cabrera, and he about got it in the right spot, but Flory made a beautiful play on this ball, and we got 2 quick outs.
So Pelfrey's kept the ball in the infield, 2 away, and Jason Kipnis will be the batter. Had a tremendous month of June where he hit .419, and overall his average all-star worthy at .301. Strike 1.
Dick, when I played, it took me 3 months to add my numbers up to get to that high. That's how bad I was.
Chopped foul, and Pelfrey's gotten ahead of everybody, 0-2.
Kipnis certainly played in the All-Star game, so he did get some swings and was able to stay reasonably sharp like Joe Mauer. And so if you think somebody should have a chance in the lineup, would be this fella, especially early. Whoa.
Inside, nearly hit him.
Boy, Mikey's not afraid to throw that fastball right in. That's a 4-seamer. He's just trying to bury it in on him. He knocked Cabrera back off the plate, and now he's knocked Kipnis back off the plate. Maybe that's why you get that one-handed swing.
Breaking ball lifted to center, harmlessly toward Hicks. Pelfrey already a third of the way to the dugout. A 1-2-3 first in the top of the first for Mike Pelfrey. At Target Field, some of the heat, most of the humidity left the area. Great night for baseball. Ron Gardenhire hoping that the Twins can win a series from the Indians here. Cleveland's won 4 of the 6 games played in Cleveland this year. And Gardy's Menard's batting order has Brian Dozier on top, Trevor Plouffe hitting second, Joe Mauer with a base hit in the All-Star game, then Justin Morneau, Ryan Doumit, Chris Colabello, Aaron Hicks, Clete Thomas, and Pedro Florimo. And Scott Kazmir, who's pitched a couple of good ball games against the Twins already this year. He's beaten the Twins twice at Progressive Field. He'll be making his 3rd start tonight.
He's one of them left-handers that I grew up with Frankie Liriano, where I swear if you go up there and don't swing, you'd walk. And this fella here, I just think he doesn't throw it over enough, but and his road record is not what you call very attractive. So let's see if we can get to him tonight.
Dozier takes outside after taking a strike, 1-1. Dozier, Plouffe, and Mauer in the first inning. Dozier with a decent first half at the plate and a very good first half in the field. As Tom mentioned in the open, he made the transition from shortstop to second base about as seamlessly as you can.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it, you know, if somebody pointed it, unless they pointed out to you that he used to be a shortstop. That's how good he's been.
To center, and Bourne will go over a few steps. Back into the shadows, makes the catch, 1 away. Northland 4 defense for the Indians. Michael Brantley is in left field. Michael Bourne in center. Drew Stubbs in right. Lonnie Chisenhall is Drupal Cabrera, Jason Kipnis, Nick Swisher, the infielders. Jan Gomes behind the plate. One down, Trevor Plouffe at the plate.
Gardy juggling the lineup a little bit here and trying to find the right combination here, and got Plouffe, Trevor up there in the 2 spot. Let's see how that works out for us. After the first time around, it's really not much of a big deal, but it will give him a few more at bats if he continues to hit in the same spot throughout the rest of the season.
Strike 1, strike 2. Plouffe in the first half hit .351 against left-handed pitching. So by moving him up to the second spot in the batting order, maybe you get him an extra at bat. Inside 1 and 2. See Tom's reference about the road record, 0-4 with an ERA of well over 5.
Let's see if we can put a 6 on that. Make it the 6th spot. 6, Tony O.
Scott Kazmir with the start of Progressive Field in early May. 6 innings, couple of earned runs, 1 home run. And then in the middle of June, 7 innings, just 1 run over 5 hits. This to the right field corner, but it'll turn right.
See Trevor just a tad late. You know, he did take a look at the first few pitches in his at bat and trying to see some pitches and get his timing back, and he did a good job there fouling that pitch off. It was a tough pitch.
1 and 2. Out in front of the changeup, 2 down.
That's a nice pitch.
That'll bring up Joe Mauer. Tonight's Cold Hard Fact brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. It has been a streaky season for the Indians, and they've got 12 shutouts, most in the major leagues. Justin Masterson will pitch here on Sunday. He's had a good first half in that regard, but the team ERA just marginally better than the Twins.
I don't know if anybody can explain it, but I know one thing: the bullpen hasn't been as reliable as Mr. Francona, the manager of the Indians, would have liked, and they've given away some games, especially late. And if they can stay in contention, who knows what they might try to do here as we get to the end of July and into August.
1 strike to Mauer. The Indian bullpen has had 17 blown saves, the most in the American League. Chris Perez was hurt. He's back. The velocity isn't quite what it was before he got hurt.
He's getting the job done. He's been getting his saves this last 2 weeks when he came back.
Swing and a miss, 1 and 2. And while the Twins kind of limped into the break with a tough road trip, the Indians were at home and they went 7-4 going into the break, furthering the belief that this is the year they can hang with the Tigers.
Well, I still think they need to tighten up the defensive end of the game. Just my opinion that I think Terry would tell you the same thing, that he would like to see his defense better, and I'm sure he'd like to touch up that bullpen if he could.
Checked his swing, 3-2 with Morneau on deck.
The thing about the Indians, Dick, that I like is that they have good looks on their faces. They look like they're having fun. They look like they enjoy playing the game. And the only time they don't look like they're enjoying it too much is when they got the lead and here come the bullpen.
3-2. And Mauer lifts it down the left field line, chased by Brantley. And that'll land on the warning track a step or 2 short of the left fielder.
You know, it's funny how different teams play different hitters. And I think for the most part, Dick, as we watched Joe Mauer come to bat and where the other team's defense, Joe, and for the most part, especially with 2 strikes, they're way over to the opposite side. And we saw how far Brantley ran for that ball, but he's probably playing over more than anybody I've seen any team play into left center field.
Right.
Then most teams play Joe way over. Oh, here he comes, a step or 2 now. But
another 3-2 pitch to Mauer. Ooh, busted bat and a bouncer to second. Kipnis has it, and each starting pitcher has a 1-2-3 first inning.
Twins and Indians. Well, Ron Gardenhire isn't going to try to sugarcoat the way his team ended the first half of the season. Earlier today, he said that last stretch was about as bad a stretch as he's seen in a long time. But he also believes his team is just as capable of going on a big winning streak. They just have to forget about the first half and move on. Now, they've had 4 days to try to do so. And in fact, Dick and Tom, maybe getting away from baseball for a few days will be just what they need.
Well, that's the hope, Jamie. Thank you very much. You start over and you don't like where you are in the standings, but maybe you get off almost like the second season starting, and you find that spark that was missing in the first half.
That last weekend in New York, and the Saturday afternoon game, that was a big game. That was really a pivotal game for the Twins this season, and then it carried over into Sunday, where you got staring at CC Sabathia, and you're going, oh boy, and really cakewalk through it, for the most part. So we talked about, now's the time when maybe we don't want these days off, and because we're playing good, and maybe we just keep it going. But the schedule says we're going to take a break, so here we are.
Called third strike. Swisher's gone on 3 pitches. And he'll have an issue with Chris Conroy, and squares off against him, 1 away. You can ask a question at carsoup.com/baseball. Jerry and Edina wondering, as a manager, how tough it is to get the players refocused on baseball coming out of the break.
Well, the mind and the body are all willing. It's just getting the 2 of them together. So getting out there. So that's why you have your workouts early, and you go through all your fundamentals, and you try to put as many baseball moves in as you possibly can within between practice time and game time. So the players, the more baseball movements they make, the more should kick in, and so you do end up doing a lot of stuff, and just trying to get the mind and body all in one piece, and get it all working again. But as you can see by most of the at bats so far, it's been a little bit ugly for the hitters.
That was action from around 3 o'clock this afternoon. Ron Gardenhire and the coaching staff going through an assortment of refresher drills.
Right, refresher is exactly right, and trying to get the kinks out, and trying to get the players to field and make baseball moves, baseball type stuff, to get their body and their mind all working together.
Off-speed pitch, missing low, 2-1 to Michael Brantley, and then Carlos Santana will hit. To left field, short left field. Thomas got a very late break and makes a diving catch.
Wow.
That ball was in the air a long time, and Thomas got fooled by it.
That's being generous, Dick. He really got fooled. This is what we talked about just a few minutes ago about making baseball plays and baseball moves and reading the balls and just getting yourself going again. And he didn't take just one step back. He took about 3 of them back, and luckily Cleats got some speed and he was able to recover. So speed can make up for a lot of little mistakes along the way.
Carlos Santana, the batter, the designated hitter tonight for the Indians, and a first pitch strike. So far so good for Pelfrey. 24 pitches, 19 strikes, 5 up, 5 down. And on the outside corner, what do you make of Pelfrey from where he was at the start of the year to where he is now?
I think he's, for me, Dick, he rushed back. It was a rush, and he's at that point of his career where, he sort of has to get out there and do it, and he rushed himself back, and I give him a lot of credit for that. And yeah, there was some bumps along the way, and but as you pointed out, the last couple of starts have been his best starts, I think, overall. Looks more in command. He's not, well, I like to call fooling around on the mound, walking around and shaking his head and calling the catcher out. He's more, get the ball and throw it type, and that's much better. So I think he's doing an awful lot of good things.
A couple of strikeouts and another 1-2-3 inning, no score after an inning and a half. Broadcast, let us know who you think will be the Arby's value player of the game. Text the word value followed by a space in the player's name to short code 234234. Justin Morneau, Ryan Doman, and Chris Colabello will face Scott Kazmir here in the second inning. Off the plate, ball 1.
Get 4 days off like Justin has had, and the first guy you have to see is this Kazmir guy thrown from the left side, about 94. That's not very pleasant.
Justin 5 for 20 with a couple of home runs against Kazmir, and now he's got a 2-0 count. Foul back. 2-1.
Good swing with the fastball he was looking for. He just got underneath it just a touch.
Swing and a foul. 2-2.
It's 92 right on the outside corner of the plate. It's a real tough pitch. One of those pitches that Mr. Blyleven used to deliver.
Yeah.
And when the umpire calls him balls, he has a hard time. I agree with him. I do too.
2-2. Slapped foul.
Well, that's another good pitch by Kazmir. I've badmouthed him some here to start the game, but so far he's throwing the ball very effectively. He's keeping the ball down in the zone for the most part. And those last two pitches are right on the outside corner.
Wow. Off the end of the bat towards short, backhanded by Cabrera. Perfect throw across, one away. That'll bring up Ryan Doman. When you join the Twins season ticket family this year, you'll be hitting the sweet spot. Purchase any of the Twins season ticket packages and receive 10% off food, beverage, and merchandise bought here at the ballpark. Season ticket prices are also up to 20% cheaper than single game purchases. You can call 833-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com. Check out the options, learn about the benefits that come along with Twins season tickets. Here's Ryan Doman. And there is ball one. Doman, in your mind, was the MVP of the Twins?
Well, I think he had some real bright moments in the first half of the season. He's caught well. He's played well in the outfield when he needed to play right field.
Popped up behind second base. Kipnis retreating. 2 down.
You know, he got some of the biggest RBIs. I feel like we got all the first half of the season. He had the little ankle deal there and set him back a little bit, but the last week or two, Dick, I thought he rebounded well and knocked in some more big runs. Got the big home run in New York. I think he's done really a great job for the Twins.
Here's Chris Colabello up again with the Twins. Will probably get his most extended playing time here because of the nature of what he was doing in AAA and the needs that the Twins have right now.
I think there's some thought that Chris needs to play every day, and but he might have to make these kind of adjustments now. He's always been an everyday player and getting a chance to play in the minor leagues every day, and he's done very, very well. But you know, when you come to the big leagues, sometimes your role changes, and you know you needed to do this or do that. You might sit for 2 or 3, 4 days, then you might pinch hit, you might get the DH, this sort of thing. He's going to have to make some adjustments that way, and whenever the manager needs him to play, he's going to have to try to be ready for it. But there is some sentiment that he needs to maybe get out there on an everyday basis to show his best. Now, Chris played in the AAA All-Star game out in Reno, I believe, and did a good job. So he's had some at-bats, so hopefully he won't be too rusty.
Just missing the inside corner. Kazmir thought he had the corner and was heading toward the dugout.
Chris, if everybody would take notice, he does stand very, very far from the plate, and he's a diver, and he dives in there, and he's got a lot of movement with his hands and his bat, but again,
Tapper to the right side. Kipnis has an easy play, and each starting pitcher has an easy 1, 2, 3 first and second inning. by participating in the AT&T Twitter poll. And tonight we're asking you, what did Brian Dozier do over the All-Star break? Did he catch a catfish by hand? Hashtag Dozier A. Got caught up on American Idol, babysat his niece and nephew, or played Augusta National. And we'll give you the correct answer later on.
I'm going to go with babysat.
Really?
Yeah.
Lonnie Chisenhall will lead off the third. First time Pelfrey has started a Cleveland batter by not throwing strike one. Foul back, 1-1.
92, real good fastball, and Mikey's keeping the ball down pretty good, so he's hopefully keep this pattern going and staying ahead of the hitters for the most part, and keeping it in play and keeping the game moving at a minimal amount of pitches.
Pelfrey's monthly ERA significantly better with every month. In April, it wasn't very good, 7.66. A little bit better, but still not good. May, 5.90. Started rounding into shape in June, 4.66. There's a drive to center, and Hicks is going to chase it, and he won't catch it. It's the first hit of the ball game, and it is a double for Lonnie Chisenhall to lead off the third inning.
I think this pitch is right down the middle, Richard, and it's not where you want to be, and Chisenhall put a real good swing on it. Ooh.
So the number 7 batter is at second with a leadoff double, and now Yan Gomes. Gomes doing the catching tonight. Work through the bottom of the order. Important for the Indians to have a productive at bat here, and that means Gomes' job is to get Chisenhall at least to third base. And he takes a belt high strike.
Okay, as we know now, Gomes' job is to make sure he can advance the runner, get a pitch you can handle, something that you can, control the bat and get to the ball to the right side of the infield, or a deep fly to right to get the runner over to third with less than 2 out.
Fouled away, now 2 strikes.
There's a good inside out swing that time. Sometimes players, they try so hard to advance the runner, they let the ball get just a touch too deep, and then ends up going foul like that. And it's an effort, but that's probably overdoing it.
Gomes will strike out about once every 4.5 at bats.
Now his job is just to get it in play.
Foul back to the screen.
Another good try. He tried again, even with 2 strikes, to get to the runner, to get the ball to the right side of the infield to advance the runner. So I give him a little credit for that swing. It wasn't too bad. Most managers will, after 2 strikes, just hope you get it in play. And if you get it in play, something good can happen. If you don't get it in play, well, obviously there's not much good that happens.
And a strikeout. He didn't get it in play, did he?
No, nothing good happened.
1 down
to the Indians.
And that'll bring up Drew Stubbs.
Fastball up and in here, ties him up pretty good. It was actually away, but it was a little bit up in the zone. Dick, you think that was that cutter, a little cutter?
It looked like it had some cut to it, a little spin to it.
I think so.
Stubbs the batter with Chisenhall still at second base. And he hits the corner.
Dick, I think that's that same little pitch there, about 88, 89 miles per hour. His 4-seam fastball seems to be about 92, 93.
Up high, 1-1.
This Stubbs guy's been a little bit of a thorn in our side as well. He's had some pretty good series against us. He's hitting 240. He doesn't seem to be doing all that much against the rest of the league, but against us, he seems to do a good job.
Strike on the outside corner.
He's gotten some big hits and had some big games.
Stubbs hitting .381 against the Twins this year.
Sorry, I brought it up.
Yeah, Kipnis is hitting .500, which helps explain why the Indians have won 4 of the 6 games. 1-2. Pelfrey trying to pitch around the leadoff double here in the 3rd. Two and two.
You saw the last hitter was up, but the hitter trying to advance the runner, Florimon was holding the runner at second, trying to jockey him back to second base just a touch, and now the difference after 1 out, now we switch, and Dozier now has that responsibility.
2-2.
Oh.
Idiot.
I think Mikey tried to make that one move a little bit too much. That was that two-seamer that he throws and tries to run it inside, and he just overcooked it.
Stubbs in the rib, maybe the elbow.
Yeah, I think it got him in the arm first, up there in the muscle. Hooked him first there, and probably ended up getting some ribs after that.
First and second, 1 down, and that'll bring up Michael Bourne. Bourne ended up hitting a week 3 hopper to Morneau his first time up.
That reminded me of some of the balls I used to hit to first base. Take my right turn, go back to the dugout, shake my head, see if my bat was still in one piece. It wasn't very attractive.
Plouffe in on the edge of the grass at third base.
A lot of stuff going on here. Morneau has to back up a little bit at first.
Ball 1.
Trevor's still going to guard against a base hit type bunt that Bourne might try to lay down. And after that first at bat he had, he may seriously think about that.
1-0. 2-0.
Getting behind in the count now a little bit. That's never a good formula. Mike did such a great job the first couple innings of staying ahead of the hitters and throwing strike 1, and this inning has gotten away from us a touch. And let's see if we can get that ground ball here. It's going to be tough to double up this fella, so we'll make sure we get that first out. We'll go from there.
Fouled away. 2-1.
These fellas that can really run, Dick, as you know, as an infielder, you want to make sure you get the first out, because it's going to be very unlikely you're going to get a double play unless he really hits you some kind of 1 or 2 hopper here that gets to you very quickly. Then you got a shot at it. But for the most part, let's make sure we get our first out and not rush anything and trying to get a double play and not do anything foolish where the runner at second may have an opportunity to score.
Called strike 2 and 2. 280 at bats for Bourne, and he's grounded into 1 double play.
Speed's part of his game, a big part of his game, probably his #1 weapon. So the idea is to get it in play and run like the Dickens.
2-2. Pelfrey to Bourne. Breaking pitch off the outside corner.
I think that's that little change up there, Dick, that he tried to hit the outside corner with. Maybe get Bourne to roll over it a little bit, get out in front, roll it over to the second baseman or first baseman. It's a good take.
Full count to Michael Bourne.
Well, you going to start the runners? That's my job.
That's your job. But I will point out to you, Bourne struck out about 1 every 4 times.
I would have to say they would pass on that, because it's unlikely that he's going to hit into a double play anyway. So I would have to say they're not running.
Pelfrey needs to throw a strike. Just not that strike. A drive to the gap. It'll score 1. It'll score 2. Bourne rounds second with a 2-run double. Chisenhall and Stubbs score, and the Indians score first.
I think we see this replay, Dick. We're going to see a pitch that's up in the zone, somewhat the same pitch that Chisenhall got to hit. Yeah. This Sorry, elevating the ball this inning for whatever reason, I'm not sure, but the ball has definitely come up in the strike zone this inning.
14th double for Bourne, and RBIs 20 and 21. Quick trip to the mound by Rick Anderson.
I'm sure Andy's telling him that let's start over here a little bit. Let's get the ball down in the zone. Let's stay ahead of the count. We also have to pay attention to our runner at second now. So Mike, I would think, would try to incorporate a little bit of a slide step, because we don't want to just pick up our leg here with this fella running from second.
Cabrera ended up slapping a line drive toward left field, but it was intercepted by Florimon his first time up.
It's a little bit tough now, Florimon as well, Dick, as you bring it up, because Fleury's got the responsibility to keep the runner halfway close at second, and in the back of his mind, he just remembers that Cabrera hit one to his right his last at bat, so he's in a little bit of a tough spot.
Fouled back by Cabrera, 1 strike. Another pitch left up. Foul back to the screen. Time called. As much as Pelfrey has improved as the season has worn along, he has just 1 win in his last 10 starts, and that came in Toronto earlier this month. Behind here in the 3rd inning now, 2-0. 1-1.
I think that's a little bit of a cut piece, a slider, cutter, or whatever you want to call it. Just as a side note, I put the clock on Mike that time, my stopwatch, and I got 1.20 to home out of his hand on his release time to home plate. So that should deter Bourne from trying to make any steals here.
Liner caught by Dozier. Quick flip to second, a double play. Dozier speared the line drive. Seemed like he released the ball to Florimon before his feet touched the ground. Your link to what's next. By Grand Casino, the best stories start here. And by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. First lead goes to Cleveland, a 2-run double by Michael Bourne in the top of the 3rd inning, and now the Twins send to the plate Aaron Hicks, Clete Thomas, and Pedro Florimon in the bottom of the inning. well hit balls in the top against Mike Pelfrey. See what the Twins can get done against Scott Kazmir. So far it's been 6 up, 6 down. For most of your managerial tenure,
yes,
you had a center fielder who could make some plays, and I'm not about to try to compare Kirby Puckett to this guy, but I think that's one good thing that's come out of this first half. Aaron Hicks looks like a guy who can make some plays.
He can do that. There's no question he's going to be an excellent center fielder for the Twins in the future. It just gets that playing time and comfortable and confidence, and the more of that he can exude, the more he's going to show you what he can really do. I've seen this young man make some just terrific plays in the outfield, and we get that batting going a little bit better, a little bit more consistent, and we're going to have ourselves a player.
You saw the numbers on the Lowe's never stop improving graphic ever since he was recalled from AAA, and that's what the Twins hope will be accomplished in sending Arcia, Parmalee down, that they'll go back, get their confidence a little bit. Here's a pop-up.
Get out.
Spinning out of play, and Hicks' bat is still alive. But Hicks needed the rehab time from the hamstring injury, but maybe too just a little opportunity to clear his mind a little bit and come back with a fresh start.
As a major league manager, you have to hang that shingle out on your door. That psychiatrist part, and you know, there's a whole bunch of shingles you have, and that's probably part of it. And he certainly has come back. It looks a lot better.
To right field, Stubbs coming in to make the catch, one away, and that'll bring up Clete Thomas.
I think he got jammed up a little bit on that one, Richard. It's just to be expected. People haven't played for a while. They're going to get jammed up until they get that first at bat out of the way. I think it got in on him. So. Yeah. Right off about the label of the bat.
Clete Thomas fouls it away. As Ron Gardenhire said before the game today, right now he has only 2 outfielders. He's got some guys he can run out there like Doman, like Chris Herman, like Colabello, I suppose. But right now there are just 2 outfielders on this team, Clete Thomas and Aaron Hicks. Taking for a strike, 0-2.
You know, Arcia and Parmalee both, you know, hang in there pretty good against the left-handed pitcher, and Clete does. He's much better than he was a year ago, and even in the spring, he still had that long swing and loopy swing, and he you know, I give him a lot of credit for applying his trade and you know, maybe taking a little personal inventory of himself and saying, I got to change a few things here if I'm going to play in the big leagues.
1-2 to Thomas. And Cabrera tried to backhand it and just slowed it down on its way into the outfield.
That's one of those plays I think if he had to do over again, he probably would have took a step in and caught it in the air. I think he got a little indecisive about how he was going to try to catch this ball, and he elected to stay back. And once you lean off it a little bit, watch him lean off it just a touch, and there she goes. So I think if you ask him, he said, maybe I'd come get that ball next time.
A hit for Thomas.
Thank you.
And that'll bring up Florimon. Inside, ball 1. He spent a lot of time hitting fungos to Florimon. You've seen him play on a just about everyday basis here. What does he need to hit, well, to be the shortstop moving forward for the Twins?
262. 262 sounds like the right number.
Really?
Yeah. You know, everybody's not going to hit 300. It's not going to. You know, if he hits, I think 260, 257, 280, 260, 271, somewhere in there, and plays solid defense. You know, your third baseman, your first baseman, center fielder, left fielder, right fielder, DH. Those are the guys that are supposed to handle the load with the hitting end of it. Get on base, advance the runners, move the runners when you're supposed to, bunt the ball, all that other stuff that is mandatory, as you do as a big league player. You know, these are the things he needs to do, and if he can hit, you know, 260, I would think that'd be great. Hit with Greg Gagnon.
2-1.
I think Fleury has a lot of attributes. He can bunt the ball, advance the runners when he's supposed to, do all those little things that are necessary.
Well, the splits aren't very good. He's hitting just 125 from this side of the plate. But what we saw in the weeks leading up to the All-Star break, much better at bats from this side of the plate, giving himself a chance to get that batting average up as a right-handed batter. Thomas got a good break, and Florimon fouls it to the screen.
That's a hit and run Gardy put on right there, trying to get some action going. One of the favorite counts for managers to run on 2 balls, 1 strike. These are the kind of things Fleury's going to be asked to do, hopefully do them successfully.
Chopper to short, should be 2. Cabrera to Kipnis. Oh, Florimon beat it out. So fielder's choice, allowing Florimon to reach with 2 down. That'll bring up Dozier. This year, Fox Sports Supports is proud to partner with Stomp Out Bullying, the leading national anti-bullying organization for kids and teens in the U.S. Stomp Out Bullying focuses on preventing bullying in all forms of digital abuse. It educates against racism and hatred, deters violence in schools and online, and helps at-risk students. To learn more how you can help, visit stompoutbullying.org. Florimon on the first pitch, and he's thrown out by Gomes. So the Twins get their first hit, but come up empty in the third. Field. Twins tickets remain available and affordable. A summer's worth of good times here at the ballpark at Target Field. Check out the steal of the week and demand-based pricing for great deals on single game purchases all season long. Call 800-33-TWINS or go to twinsbaseball.com/tickets. Odd, Tom, to see a July schedule the way the Twins have it laid out for them. Just a total of 9 home games. There's a chopper toward short. Florimon, bare hands, flips, fires, got him. Oh, what a play by Pedro Florimon.
Well, this is one of those do or die plays. You come in, and we always profess to our minor league players, this is a good play for the, our high school and college guys who want to play baseball. You have to catch the ball. That's the first thing you have to do, is make sure you catch the ball. And he got it in his hand, then make a good throw, and now you have a chance to get the runner out, but the batter out. But that's one of those do or die things. He gets a nice little bounce here, and he gets it He got it in his hand. Okay, now he's going to make a throw. Don't try to do too much at once. Take it one step at a time, and you might have a chance to get the batter out. But that was an excellent play.
Swisher takes a strike.
Especially after getting thrown out and start the inning. And I'm sure he's a little bit down about that. And be ready to play defense like that is that's nothing but aces right there. That's pretty good.
1-1. I know that was something you constantly preach to your players. Separate your game. And if something bad happens at the plate on the bases, next half inning, you got a different role. You got to be ready to play it.
And this is what we talked about when you mentioned. He asked me what I thought Florimon. What would you like for him to hit? Well, I'd like for him to hit 330, but I think if he hits 250, 260, but make the plays that you're supposed to make, and that one was a little bit special.
Fly to center, and Hicks backpedals a few steps. Makes the catch out number 2. And that'll bring up Michael Brantley. We ought to tip our cap to Larry DeVito and the grounds crew who had to get this ball field ready for baseball after the Kenny Chesney concert here less than a week ago.
Was there any doubt that he would? This man works miracles, and his staff, they do just a terrific job, as you know, Dick, firsthand. You down there with him.
Yeah.
You've seen how he works, how he gets after it. There's no doubt in my mind he was going to get it done.
Foul down the right field line.
In fact, I got asked this question. I was playing golf the other day, and somebody asked me if there was any damage to the field. I said, just don't worry about it. This guy gets it done.
Well, you can understand if he hasn't shaven for a couple of days, because he's been at it pretty much nonstop, he and his crew, to get this field ready. I didn't know what to expect coming here. I thought, well, the field itself, the grass will look something like a quilt, and in fact you have to look hard to find the sod that had to be relayed. Strike 2 on the outside corner. There's a little bit out in center field, out by the warning track where the big stage was. Little area around the corners of the infield. But what a magnificent job that they did here.
Yeah, in another couple days, you wouldn't know it. Won't know it's even new sod.
2 strikes to Michael Brantley. Missing inside 1 and 2. Not so much at Nationals Park. During the All-Star break, they had a Paul McCartney concert there, and I guess the field is noticeably worn and not in the best of shape. But Larry and his crew did a great job here. 1 and 2, and just off the plate, 2 and 2.
That's a good sinker. That 2-seamer he likes to throw is about 87, 88 miles per hour, and that's the same pitch that hit Stubbs before. Obviously elevated. That one was down.
Missing inside. Full count with Carlos Santana on deck.
Now, these are a few of the things now, Dick, that we've talked about earlier, where Pelfrey in the first part of the season, he's 0-2, now he's back to 3-2, and these are the kind of things that put your infielders and players on the defensive end of it and get them back on their heels. And these are the kind of things I know Rick Anderson was trying to clean up about Mikey, and for the most part he's cleaned it up, but we really hate to see that 0-2 go to 3-2, with the dancing around. The 2 pitches that he threw, you forgive him for the 0-2 pitch, but once we got to 1 and 2, that wasn't very close, and the 2-2 pitch wasn't very close either. Nobody's going to swing at those pitches.
61 pitches, 41 strikes for Pelfrey. Popped up and near the tarp and back again, out of play.
Superman's the only one to get that. But we talk about, there's so much made about pitch count now, and as you mentioned, 62 pitches now, is it?
Yep.
And for me, the other 2 pitches he threw this inning, the ball 2 and ball 3, they were sort of wasted pitches in my mind. I know Mikey's doing the best he can out there. And he doesn't want to do these things, but it seems to happen.
And he lost him. A 2-out walk, putting Brantley aboard. And that'll bring up Santana.
Very dangerous hitter for the Indians.
He's got 43 RBIs. He's got 11 big flies, which is a good number. And one of the more talented younger players in the game. I'm not sure exactly where he's going to end up. He's going to end up being a catcher or a first baseman or a DH. I know his glove work would be a little bit better at the two positions, but he's certainly a talented hitter.
Well, we just saw Yan Gomes throw out Pedro Florimon. Gomes has now thrown out 10 of 19 stolen base attempts.
That's a good percentage.
And Santana has thrown out 4 of 43, which is an awful percentage.
You know, yeah, that is. And sometimes it's not the like that pitch there that Kazmar threw to Gomes gave him a great chance to throw the runner out. Kazmar used the slide step, very quick to home, and Flory really didn't have a chance once he incorporated that slide step. I think Flory was hoping that that Kazmar was going to pick his leg up, and he didn't do that, and he couldn't put the brakes on in time, so he got thrown out by 6 feet. But again, he took a chance. It didn't work out.
2-0 now to Santana.
As we know, Dick, when people steal bases and you have a bad percentage, sometimes it is your fault as a catcher, but a lot of times it's the pitcher's fault as well.
Teams are 6 for 8 against Pelfrey this year in stolen base attempts.
Mikey sometimes picks his leg up a little bit too much. But now right now it's more important that he throws a real good pitch to the hitter here, and if he does pick his leg up a little bit, we're going to have to forgive him.
Wide of the plate, 3-0 with Chisenhall on deck.
We have to have the green light here, don't you think?
He's got how many home runs?
11. Yo 11.
(3-0) to the Indian DH. He takes the strike. Thought it was ball 4.
Well, it was down in the zone. It certainly wasn't a pitch you'd want to swing at 3-0, and that ends up being a very good take by Santana. That's not very attractive pitch to be swinging at 3-0, that's for sure. Could have some action here on the base pass, 3-1 count.
Brantley is chased back to the bag.
I'm not sure how Mr. Francona wants to play it, or if he wants his guys on the move and he trusts his hitter enough to get the ball in play.
Long hold. Brantley stays put. The pitch popped up. Thomas comes in to end the inning. A 2-out walk does no damage. It's still 2-0 Cleveland. Cleveland, going to the bottom of the 4th inning. Our Pepsi fans of the game hoping that the Twins can make it a come from behind win here against the Indians. And Brian Dozier will lead off the 4th for the Twins. Then Trevor Plouffe, and then the All-Star Joe Mauer. Did you watch the All-Star game this year, Tom?
Most of it. No, I didn't see every pitch. I saw quite a few. Yeah, I really enjoyed Mariano Rivera,
right.
8th inning. That was just a wonderful thing. I give Mr. Leland a lot of credit. I don't know how much he had to do with the orchestrating of him pitching that inning, and you had to be sure, that he was going to pitch. So that's why he had to pitch the 8th. But again, the Mets and Major League Baseball did just a remarkable job of putting that inning together, and what a tribute to a very, very, very professional pitcher.
Strike to Dozier, 2-1. Now you've got an interesting perspective on the last time the Twins hosted the All-Star game in 1985. You weren't the manager, but you were the third base coach for Ray Miller back in 1985. 2-1 to Dozier. And a bunt in the air. Gomes will get. No! He got there. He got a leather on it, but he didn't catch it.
Yeah, that wasn't very good by Gomes. I'm sure he should have caught that ball. I know he's not going to get an error for that, but I think he'd catch that 9 out of 10. That's for sure. He looked like he didn't know what he wanted to do. Whether he's going to slide, he ain't going to slide. See it, he's sort of in between. And you got to sometimes just trust your instincts and do what comes natural for you, and instead of getting the same thing that Cabrera did at shortstop, a little indecisive on just what he wanted to do.
Well, we'll see if.
So we always try to tell players to trust their instincts and let your instincts guide you. And if we need to fix something, we'll fix it. But don't second guess yourself. Just go ahead and play and let your instincts take over. And that's what got you here. So trust them.
See if Dozier can take advantage of that here. Flip behind first. That'll be chased by Swisher, and he makes the play in foul territory. One away.
We're going to get lucky twice. But I was hoping the second round at-bats would be a little bit more exciting than the first round has been. And those certainly didn't do much to curb my enthusiasm there with that one. That wasn't very good.
Trevor Plouffe struck out swinging his first time up. 1985, the last time the Twins hosted the All-Star game. You were the third base coach. What activities were you able to participate in?
Come on, Trevor. I was through batting practice that day. The day before, I threw the home run derby.
To everybody or to
no, just to Bernansky.
Okay.
Yeah, to Bruno, and he ended up winning it, which was an awful lot of fun. I remember very distinctly that he wanted the ball up and away so he could extend his arms and all that. So I said, okay, I'll try to get it out there for you. I threw some pitches down and in, and he bombed them. And he said, yeah, that's it. That's it. But Bruno did just a fantastic job in that. And it was a different format at that time. And I know he was the last hitter for the American League, and he got the job done. So that was something. I have a nice picture at home commemorating that moment, walking off the field and sort of patting him on the back, and he was, he was very appreciative of the opportunity that he had to participate in that, and did just a terrific job.
It was 3-0 to Plouffe. Now it's 3-2. Tom was the only Twins representative in the 1985 All-Star game.
That's not good.
Full count to Plouffe with one gone on the Twins 4. And he takes ball 4. And he'll get Mauer to the plate with a man aboard. You look overall, and Mauer putting up very representative numbers, yet within the first 92 games of the season, maybe the streakiest year that Joe has had.
Joe's, whether he's streaky year or not, he's still the main clog here in this lineup. There's no doubt about it. Perennial all-star player, just a model of consistency, really. If you want to get down to brass tacks, there's probably nobody better at consistent as Joe Mauer is.
Up and in, ball 1. It's interesting, over his reign as the league's best catcher. You know, there have been pursuers of his throne. Most recently, Matt Wieters of the Orioles. Well, now Wieters has not had a very good year. He's come back down to earth a little bit. Carlos Santana of the Indians, Salvador Perez, now the latest of the Indians, latest American League catcher that of Kansas City.
Yeah.
But then you think this guy's 30 years old, and he's been the standard that all the other American League catchers have had in front of them, and
still
won
there.
Won the
still
fan
on top.
ballot.
Yeah, without a question. And you have to like Perez from Kansas City.
Right.
He looks like the real deal.
Up and away, and now Bauer, after a Plouffe walk, has a 3-0 count with Morneau on deck.
And we lost the strike zone. Something that I've always felt Kazmaier could do. He could lose that strike zone. You notice, Richard, he's picking his leg out now. He's picked his leg up, and I don't know. He's got such a violent leg kick when he does pick it up. I would think he would go back to the slide step. He seems to throw more strikes out of the slide step than he does with this big leg kick.
3-1.
But the Indians certainly know much more about it than I do. They get to see him pitch every 5 days, so they certainly know the right formula for him.
Busted bat again, a little bouncer to Kipnis, and an inning-ending double play. So the Twins get a base runner. Kazmaier gets a ground ball double play. It's still 2-0.
Lead over the Twins as we head to the 5th inning. I'm Jamie Hirsch inside the Minnesota Lottery Winners Circle, joined by a couple from Pine Island. And guys, I gotta tell you, Bert is actually not here tonight, so Tom Kelly will be circling you instead.
Tom. Nice to see you, Tom.
Hey guys.
They've got a great Bert cartoon character right there. I don't know, we got to come up with something for Tom. Any ideas?
Pine Island.
We could do a Tom and Jerry or something. And
there you go. I think that's a great idea. Well, you said this is your first time at Target Field. What do you think?
It's an awesome field. It's just everywhere. It's so fun to see.
It's a beautiful night, and we're going to give you $100 worth of scratch-offs just for being here from the Minnesota Lottery. So congrats.
Thank you very much.
All right, TK, hope your circles is out and ready.
Well, we did the circling at Mr. Blyleven's permission, and we pretty much accomplished that task about 82%.
Lonnie Chisenhall with a 1-1 count.
I don't think that's the best circle you've ever seen.
Pine Island, Minnesota, by the way, for those of you who don't know, down in the southeastern part of the state, about 10 miles east of Roscoe, Minnesota, down there around Genoa, Douglas, Rochester, Zumbrota area, or it looks to be, if I had to guess, I'd say it's about a 4-hour drive from Graceville, Minnesota.
Oh my, that's a long way to go.
Yeah.
And down in Zumbrota, I was able to, in fact, look, a few years back, LaTroy Hawkins and myself, we went to, I would say, aftercare center for some people that need some help, and we visited with some nice people down there in Zumbrota, and big Twins fans. Twins memorabilia all over the walls as you walk through the hallways and in the rooms, and makes you focus.
3-2 to Chisenhall, and a bouncer up the line foul. Chisenhall, Gomes, and Stubbs in the 5th inning. Pelfrey's given up only 2 hits, but they both came in the 3rd inning. A pair of doubles that led to the 2 runs. There was a hit batter in between the doubles. On the ground, Dozier backhands it. 1 down.
It's just a 3-2 fastball right here. It's sort of centrally located for the hitter, and fortunately he just rolled it over just a touch.
And that'll bring up Gomes, who went down swinging.
I'm sure Mikey's trying to stay away from these 3-2 counts, Dick. He's had an awful lot of 3-2 counts lately, and I'm sure he's trying like heck to avoid that situation.
Down and away, ball 1. The Indians are where they are, a game and a half behind Detroit, because they're having a tough time with the Tigers. Played a dozen games against Detroit already. They've won just 3 of them. Breaking ball over the inside corner, 1-1. So if they had won just 1 more game, they would have gone into the All-Star break ahead of Detroit in the standings, and that would have been more noteworthy around the country at the All-Star break, that here are the Tigers with all the All-Stars, a great starting pitching, yet they were not in first place. Busted bat, bouncer to Plouffe. Over to Morneau, 2 down. Last year, the Indians were in first place quite a bit in the first half, and then they had an absolutely dreadful August. I mean, awful. They won 5 games in the month of August, the worst month in Cleveland Indian history. And
as a former manager, I try not to think about those things too much, but again, that had to be an awful long month for them. They just were miserable.
Swisher getting some something cut off his body. Yeah. 1-0 to Drew Stubbs.
As it turns out, Dick, that hit when he got hit by pitch, that was a big part of that inning.
Yeah.
Because it was a double to start the inning off, and then to strike out, and unfortunately we were ahead in the count on Stubbs, and ended up hitting him. And then the double followed up after that, and both runs scored.
2-0 now to Stubbs. And a strike, 2-1. Well, the awful August last year cost Manny Acta his job, and the Indians went after Terry Francona, brought him in. Three and 1. Stubbs, the number 9 batter, with 2 down. Pelfrey issued a 2-out walk in the 4th. Doesn't want to do it again here in the 5th.
You see Mike's out there. He's, I think, a little bit upset with himself. As Bert could point out to you way better than I can about this pitching, but he's just opening up a little bit too soon. The shoulders flying out and the arms dragging behind and causing those pitches to go way inside or away to the left-hand hitters. As you can see through that one, much better. Point his shoulder right to his target and let her fly.
Full count to Stubbs.
There we go.
Driven foul down the right field line.
Much better pitch by Pelfrey. And we've seen a few of them this inning that are just flying way open and letting her go, and not much good happens when you do that. The last 2 pitches he threw much better. You young pitchers out there, you got to point that shoulder towards that target until they catch it. Go.
Missed outside. Another 2-out walk. And that'll bring up Michael Bourne. If you missed out on the Twins' first DQ cap night, another one's coming up soon. Come out to Target Field Saturday, August 3rd for the 6 o'clock game against Houston to get yours. The first 20,000 fans will get the cap. Visit twinsbaseball.com or call 800-33-TWINS. Get your tickets for that game and any other this summer at Target Field. Now today it was the Mauer-Morneau double bobble. I think I saw you bring yours into the booth here.
I'm guarding it too. Got my eye on it. Make sure nobody walks out with it here. Motley crew up here.
Well, tell me about it. I've been up here with working with these people for most of the last 20 years.
I know I don't trust them.
Bourne with the 2-run double in the third. And strike one.
Nice pitch there by Mike. He used the slide step, incorporated the slide step. Short, quick delivery to home. Short shoulder pointing right at his target. Right down through the baseball. A wonderful pitch.
Off the plate, 1-1.
We get another look at it here, and this looks like one out of the windup. Again, there you go. Pretty much how you want to throw that baseball. Keep that front shoulder, that left shoulder, right in there, pointing right at your target, and then follow through. Get your arm up in position. Get that elbow up, arm up, and let her fly. You start flying that left shoulder open, it makes it hard for your arm to catch up, get in position, and throw a strike.
Bourne drove a double to left center field in the third inning with runners at first and second.
Pitch count sneaking up on us, Richard.
87 already. Trying to wrap up the fifth inning. And now 2-1.
That little two-seamer that he likes to throw to the left-hand hitters to run it out off on the outside part of the plate. Just started that one out just a touch too far.
Another base hit for Bourne. And a single advancing Stubbs to second base. So a 2-out threat now for the Indians.
It's a nice swing by Bourne right here. I think the pitch is somewhat down. I may be mistaken, but what you like with a lot of your leadoff guys, your left-hand hitters, just to drop the bat head down on the ball, and that's just what he does. It was a beautiful, beautiful swing by Michael Bourne. The guy that used to drop it down for me was drop the head of the bat down on the ball was Guzman.
Yeah.
He got that pitch down and in. You remember Florimon hit the home run the other day, just dropped the bat head down on the ball. Well, Guzzi used to do that quite often and be very, very successful. And I used to hope that the pitchers would throw him down, keep the ball down to him, because that was sort of his favorite move with the bat, is to just drop the head of the bat onto the ball and bang it off the baggie, and we all get to watch him try for a triple.
As Drupal Cabrera lined into a double play his last time up, he lined to the shortstop, Florimon, his first time up. So he stung the ball twice already tonight against Pelfrey. Inside, ball one.
Good try by Mike. The pitch is down and in. It wasn't a bad shot. He gave it a good shot there. That's not a bad first pitch. Just missed just a little bit.
Outside, 2-0.
See the bullpen starting to stir. Gardy just can't afford to let, the game's pretty much halfway over now, and we can't afford to let any more runs sneak on the board here and put us down in a bigger hole. So Mike's got to get this guy out here, or we're going to have some decisions to make.
Time called. Dangerous pitch to a guy who's already had a couple of good swings against him.
Dunsing, thank you. You got confirmation. Dunsing.
2-0. Chop foul, 2-1.
Well, that's a nice pitch there, Dick. Down and away, and you could see Cabrera was anxious and tried to hook it a little bit. We were a little bit unfortunate that he maybe didn't get it in play a little bit, because that would have been what you call that nice rollover to the second baseman.
Two and one. And now 2-2. As much as Pelfrey's tried to speed his tempo with the bases empty, in situations like this, he reverts back to what he once was, which is a very deliberate pitch.
Most people do, Dick. They just revert back to what's comfortable. Whenever there's a little sign of adversity or something's not just, maybe comfortable in your life at this time, you revert back to what you know best, and he does slow the game down.
2-2 to Cabrera. Another foul back.
It's another nice pitch by Mike. He got that ball in there pretty good. And unfortunately, Cabrera got the bat to it and was able to foul it off. It was a real good pitch. It was sitting inside and down. Ball's drifting back across the plate just a touch, but started off in the right spot, that's for sure.
Another 2-2. Got him. Well, Pelfrey comes back, strands a couple of runners in the fifth. Pitch count up to 95. It's still a 2-0 ball game. It's 2-0 Cleveland. Twins having a tough time getting much mustard against Scott Kazmir for the third time this year. 4 shutout innings. He's faced the minimum number of batters through 4 innings, and he'll face the middle of the Twins lineup, Morneau, Domet, and Colabello. Morneau with a bouncer to short his first time up. Ball 1. Take a look at the Subway end game box score. 1-0 to Morneau. The box score coming up momentarily. A strike 1-1. Just one hit for the Twins. It was a single off the glove of Cabrera off the bat of Cleet Thomas.
Yeah, it's something that we suspected that would happen tonight, Dick, especially the 4-day break, and guys would have a little bit of an issue squaring the ball up. And the Indians have only hit a couple balls pretty good too, and they got a few pitches that were sort of in the hippie zone. But other than that, there's only been 4 or 5 balls hit hard all day by both teams. So something that we suspected that would happen, and hopefully by the second time around or so, that the hitters a little bit more focused.
1 and 2 to Morneau. If you're thinking long ball, well, the Indian staff has been remarkable. Now with the 4 innings here tonight, the Indian pitching staff before and now after the All-Star break, 64 innings pitched without allowing a home run. Morneau checks his swing. It's 2 and 2.
You know, especially in that ballpark too.
Yeah.
Cleveland, you know how the ball flies there. They have a number of day games as well. You know, you get some Saturday day games, Sunday, and getaway day during the week. You can, you know, get a lot of day games, and that ball, as you know, really flies out there to right center and right field.
3 and 2 to the leadoff man here in the 5th. Dolman and Colabello will follow. We'll see if the Twins can break through here. See if Morneau can get aboard to start the inning. Fought off a pitch.
Boy, that was nasty. That looked like a little bit of a razor blade too to it. A little bit of a cutter.
Yeah.
Ball cutting across. He was only about 84 miles an hour. Ooh, nasty.
Called, 3rd strike. A fastball in the outside corner, 1 away.
This is a real nasty pitch here. This could have gone either way, and give the umpire some credit. He's been calling strikes tonight, and this is a pitch that he's called all night. It's really, really close, and went the pitcher's way.
One
Talked
down.
a little bit earlier to Rick Manning, the color man for the Indians, doing the TV, and we talked about how we're going to, you know, make the game a little bit better, and 2 older guys talking basically what it was, and you know, the umpire is the only one that can speed the games up and move it along, and those kind of pitches called to strike, and it's got just a touch of the plate, but we've seen it enough, and you've seen it enough, Richard, where the umpires have a hard time putting the right arm up sometimes and call that pitch a ball. And, you know, it looks like it should be called a strike.
2 strikes to Dolman. That's off the plate, 1 and 2.
We also talked about that walk-up music. That's another thing that can go. Hitters walk up to hit, and each get their own little tune played.
2 hops to Chisenhall. Dolman retired, 2 down.
Put a good swing on that one and squared it up and hit it hard.
Get ready, fans, for Fox Sports 1, America's new 24-hour sports network. Fox Sports 1 will be your home for great live sports, all the news and highlights you want, shows and specials that only Fox can bring you. America's new sports network is Fox Sports 1, coming August 17th. Base is empty for Chris Colabello, the designated hitter. He bounced to second his first time up.
He got beat first time up as well, so let's see if he can get a good swing on it. Dolman got a real nice swing at that last one. Hit it hard to the 3rd baseman, but hit it right out. We pointed out earlier, it's Chris's first at bat. He stands. You know, this is where he's comfortable. He's far away from the plate, and he's a diver, just like that one.
Chisenhall digs out the 3rd hop, and another 1-2-3 inning for Scott Kazmir. Coors Light. The Twins hoping to get steady infield play from Brian Dozier and Pedro Florimon.
Yeah, this is a big league play right here. Excuse me.
We all know that the Twins need to pitch better to have a chance to win more ball games, but doesn't it really start up the middle and getting,
well, it all starts in, as you pointed out, Dick, it all starts in the center of the field there with the pitcher. That's who starts the game. He's got it first. He's got it in his hand, and he's going to pretty much tell you how you're going to do that night.
Fouled back by Kipnis, 1-1.
But yes, you're absolutely right. Your shortstop and second baseman, they're the sort of the foundation guys that make the plays in the middle of the field, turn the double plays, and your center fielder go get the ball, and your catcher.
Kipnis takes ball 2. 3, 4, and 5 batters for Cleveland. That means Kipnis, Swisher, and Brantley in the 6th. Pelfrey's had a couple of longer than hoped for innings in the 4th and 5th. To left, Thomas retreats a little bit.
It'd be great to get a couple of quick outs here and get through this inning in a timely manner and minimal amount of pitches, and maybe Mike can get out there for another inning after this. It's going to be close.
You're sounding like the guy who normally sits in that chair.
Well, it's going to be close, and we all like to see our starter, especially for, all managers want to see your starter pitch 9 innings. People have this conception that managers want to go out and change the pitcher and go. They don't want to go out there. They stay out there, pitch 9 innings, and you don't have to make any decisions. So it makes life a little bit easier. But I'm sure Gardy and Andy are hoping that that Mike can get through 7 solid innings tonight.
1 strike to Swisher. He was called out on strikes in the 2nd. Hit a fly ball to center his next time up. Tapper up the line and a foul ball. 2 strikes.
Mike's doing a nice job with that pitch that's running down and away to the left-hand hitters. You can see that 87 miles per hour. That's that 2-seam fastball that he throws that sinks down and away, and a lot of lefties roll that thing over and hit that little dribbler to first and second. I can attest to that. Believe me.
Two strikes to Nick Swisher. 1-2. Just 3 hits allowed by Pelfrey, but the Indians bunched a couple of doubles and a hit batter to score a couple of runs in the 3rd.
That hit batters. Hope that doesn't come back to bite us, because he had Stubbs look like dead meat up there, and he ended up hitting
just off the plate. 2-2.
He's trying to throw that little razor blade coming back, backdoor. We call that backdoor cutter or backdoor slider. Left-hand hitter, and he tried to bring it in on the outside part of the plate. It's just not getting there. There's 2 in a row.
And they got a fastball and a swing and a miss. 2 down.
93 miles per hour. That had to be the 4-seamer, but it did have a little jump and tail to it at the end. You can see it dart right at the end. Ooh, very nice pitch.
2 down. Michael Brantley will bat.
Swisher's been another guy that's missed time for the Indians, and he looks awful rusty up there.
He's had a left shoulder problem.
Maybe that's part of it, but he's had a rough night so far. He's not the only one.
2 down. Brantley with a fly to left and a 2-out walk in the 4th.
Get the boys in the dugout. In the dugout. In the dugout. Give us a chance to get going here. And Kazmaier let loose 1 inning here. We get back in the ballgame. Dick, you got a text message from our friend Mr. Carew?
Yes, Mr.
And
Carew.
I thought he was texting you, telling you you got another hole-in-one or something. But I know he's got a bad shoulder. I don't think he's playing too much golf, but you always hear about him every other weekend. He gets a hole-in-one.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, every other weekend.
1-1. Well, Mr. Carew's watching the telecast.
And there's some weekends he doesn't even play. He still manages to get a hole-in-one. I don't know how he does it. Yeah.
Well, he was complimenting you and your observation that a left-handed batter sometimes they, are well served by just dropping the head of the bat on a low pitch.
And he could do it as good as anybody.
He only did it about 1,700 times, I would guess. And Brantley with a liner to center gets a 2-out single in the 6th.
I've seen Rodney hit plenty, and my goodness gracious, and you've seen him hit more than I have in your lifetime too, Richard. But he could really drop the head down on the bat. He was so strong, his hands, his wrists. That's why he hits the golf ball so far. So he's got so strong hands and wrists that the ball flies off his club. That's most of the time. Half the time it goes left or right, but there are times when he does hit it fairly straight.
Carlos Santana, the batter. Brantley extended the inning with a 2-out single.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's going to do us in for the 7th inning too, Richard. I think that's probably going to be the end for Mike. To get through this inning here, he's given us 6 real solid innings.
A season high 112 pitches against the Phillies here on June 12th, and he's quickly getting there here in the 6th inning. That's what we were talking about before. The ERA certainly headed in the right direction. Whether it was intentional or not, the way the rotation is set up after the All-Star break, Pelfrey will get 3 starts before the trading deadline. Now, if you're a team, and I'm not saying this is why the Twins did it, but if you're a team interested in somebody to round out the rotation, and if the biggest question about Mike Pelfrey is his health and will he be able to give you some quality starts and take his turn in the rotation, he's scheduled to have 2 more starts after this before the trading deadline.
Yeah, I think he's shown that he's healthy without a question. I mean, if you watch him, his arm is free and easy, and yeah, he maybe doesn't throw everyone perfect, but who does? And he's certainly been awful competitive, especially this last month. And as you pointed out, his ERA's gone down. So he's certainly going in the right direction. And we certainly are not involved in any of these decision-making things, why one guy pitches ahead of another guy or whatnot. But, Gardy and Andy certainly have their reasons what they're doing. And Mike's certainly been given us a great start here after the All-Star break, and great opportunity to win.
2-1. His starts would come against the Indians, obviously, and then
I'm sorry, Dick, but I think we have to remember we got a bunch of double headers too coming up,
right?
And so we're going to have a lot of stuff going on here with the starters here in the future.
2-1 to Santana. 3-1. Chisenhall on deck.
Either we're going to have to probably bring somebody from the minor leagues to maybe start a game, or one of the guys in the bullpen, Swarzak, Dunsing, or whoever, just get a start, because we do have I think three doubleheaders.
Well, we've filled in a couple of off days. There's, I think, just
correct. That's what I was getting at. The days off are very, very limited.
1 doubleheader in Chicago in August. 3-1 to Santana.
Yeah, that could be
another 2-out situation here. Pelfrey's not going to be able to get through 6 innings here.
Yeah, very, very close. Within all that, he still give us a super chance to be successful here tonight. I was wishing and hoping he'd get through this inning, give himself a chance to get a win.
Pelfrey will come out, and the Twins will hope to keep this a 2-0 game. To start the ball game, then from the third inning on, it was a bit of a struggle, but just 2 runs allowed so far.
Yeah, Dick. Let's see. We got 8 fly ball outs, 4 ground ball outs, 5 strikeouts. Like you pointed out, there's just too many pitches. They crept up on us here in the last few innings. And just watching on our in-house feed here where we could see the dugout, Mike was and Rick Anderson are talking, and Mike was showing Andy how he was just flying open. And he couldn't, like he was trying to stop it and he couldn't stop it. So, you know, that was a little bit of a culprit for him tonight, just opening up, flying open just a little bit too quick and letting that ball sail a little bit on him. And it caused you to throw a lot more pitches than you should really have to get through an inning or 2.
The batter is Lonnie Chisenhall. He had a leadoff double in the 3rd, scored the first run of the game for the Indians. Dunsing into the ball game, and he delivers ball 1.
Just one final thought on Pelfrey. 113 pitches, Richard, and 67 strikes. That's probably not just what you're looking for, but still very competitive in the game and giving us an opportunity to win. Let's hope Dunce can get this guy out.
Brought in to get the left-handed batter out, even though that was one of the disappointments of the first half. Dunsing traditionally very tough against lefties, and it was the right-handers who gave him trouble, but this year it's been just the opposite. Right-handers are still doing fine, but left-handers
a little bit better,
hitting a very high average against a guy who's usually been really tough against them. Softly back to the mound, a busted bat. And the Indians leave 2 more aboard. You'd like to think that their missed opportunities here in the middle innings will cost them by game's end. Catch a filet of fish extra value meal today. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by Toyota. Let's go places. To find the nearest Toyota dealer and check out our current offers, visit buyatoyota.com. 2-0 Indians. It'll be the bottom third of the Twins lineup in the 6th. That means Aaron Hicks, Clay Thomas, Pedro Florimo. The Twins have 1 hit, and it is, to be honest, a kind of a questionable hit. Inside ball 1. The hit came off the bat of Thomas on a play that we've seen Cabrera make many, many times. It was ruled a hit. And right now the official scorer is getting a little antsy.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
Hicks with a little flare to right field. Kipnis out there to track it down, and Hicks has gone quickly 1 away.
I'm sort of looking for maybe an opportunity to maybe drag one, drop one down, bunt, and, but that didn't happen.
Thomas hit a soft line drive, almost made it out to Cabrera. He decided to try to backhanded. He may have the softest hands at short in the American League, and it just didn't settle in his glove. Hit right off the bottom of the webbing and trickled into left field. Thomas takes strike one.
For the younger people out there want to play some solid defense, that was a real hard play. He made that into a real hard play, but you know, once you turn your shoulder and goes, we call sideways, you go sideways at it, which is okay, which he did. He went sideways at it, but you really have to roll that left shoulder or that glove hand right through the ball. You have to roll it through, and he went the wrong direction with it. He cut it off, and what we're trying to explain is you got to roll it. See how he sort of pulled his glove up? You have to roll right through that ball and keep that shoulder down, and he picked it up, and that's how it scooted underneath his glove. But you know, he made you know, I don't think it was the hardest play, but he made it hard. Watch his hand and arm come up, straight up, instead of rolling through. Roll through the ball a little bit more and drop that shoulder right through it. He sort of shortcutted, and that's what happens.
2 down, and that'll bring up Florimon.
Boy, if the scorekeeper's got to live with that one, oh boy, we're going to have an issue.
Yeah.
Well, he's got to stick to his guns, right, Richard?
Yeah. The pitch count suggests that Twins aren't soon to be done with Kazmir. He's thrown 83 pitches, and a changeup there strikes out Thomas. Florimon reached on a fielder's choice, and he takes a strike at the knees.
Third baseman Chisenhall playing even with the bag, thinking that Flory might drop one down here.
Kazmir threw a season-high 111 pitches back on June 4th at Yankee Stadium. 108 pitches before the break against the Royals.
It seems like a nice night to be out there pitching, and it's comfortable. It might be a touch warm, but there's not, the humidity is gone, so it's it can't be that taxing on you out there tonight. Seems like a good night to stay loose.
He certainly hasn't had many pitches under duress.
Correct.
1 and 2, and Florimon takes ball 2.
He's had a couple 3-2 counts, but not many. You know, he'd always talked about, and I'm sure Bert can expand on this, or has expanded on it much more than I can, but that, you know, I used to always approach it, you know, you get to 120 pitches or so. Were they 120 hard pitches or under duress, or half of them were and half weren't, or is it you had an easy time of it? So.
Got an issue now. Terry Francona coming out with Lonnie Soloff, the Cleveland trainer.
If we can go back about 4 pitches, you can see Kazmir throw. It was maybe the second to last pitch to, I believe, Cleat Thomas. He gives you that little bit of a jump step there after he threw the ball.
Here's the last pitch that he threw before a trip to the mound.
Yeah, but that's not the one he hurt himself on. He hurt it about four pitches ago. You can watch him give a jump step here. No, it was when Cleat Thomas was hitting. So I know he threw the ball. I watched him. He made a little bit of a hoop-de-doo step, and I said, oh, but then he didn't seem to like it bothered him, so I sort of dismissed it, but I guess it did.
Facially, it looks like both Kazmir and the medical staff have dismissed it as well. Everybody's smiling either on the mound or on the trip back to the dugout. 3-2 to Florimon.
He certainly threw that ball well. That's 92. Not much. See it? A little hoop-de-doo there.
Yeah. And Florimon takes a walk. And that'll get Dozier to the plate. You can swing for the fences with the new Home Run Derby mobile game from MLB.com. Choose one of 32 Home Run Derby competitors, including everyone from the 2013 Derby. Compete for the highest scores. Play the Derby mode that recreates the actual Home Run Derby tournament. Available on iPhone and iPad and select Android devices. Download free today.
Dick, I think this is the first inning where we're going to have at least 4 hitters come to the plate. Is that correct?
Down low. Well, yeah. We were in this situation. We were in this situation in the third, and Florimon tried to steal second during the Dozier at bat.
And then Joe hit to the double play.
Yep.
That made it minimum 3 hitters as well.
1-0 to Dozier. Strike called. 1-1.
I guess that's pretty good.
Well, if he completes 6 innings without allowing a run here tonight against the Twins this year, that'll be 19 innings with just 3 runs allowed. Toward the hole, cut off, bobbled by Chisenhall. Flourmon's going to dig for third, and he'll reach safely, and Dozier will go to second.
This is the kind of thing I talked about this morning on our conference call, that they're a little shaky at third, a little shaky at first, and there's just a foolish play by who was that, Cabrera?
Cabrera, the shortstop.
And he's a veteran kind of guy. That why he throws this ball to third base is beyond me. And you expect your veteran players to have a little bit better leadership than this. This is not a good play at all. And it just allows the tying run to stroll down to second base. We didn't hit the ball 100 feet. This is really 2 bad plays.
Now Plouffe has a chance with a hit to the outfield, an error charge to Chisenhall at third.
And a mental error for the shortstop.
Strike one.
Really hurts is the mental error by Cabrera throwing that ball to third base. For people watching out there, the kids that want to learn, that's a no-no right there. Don't try to be Superman and make some kind of fancy play. All he did was allow the tying run to waltz into second base.
1 strike to Plouffe. And now a ball. Well, of such things are rallies made. The Indians have had this situation a number of times with 2 outs. They've gotten guys on base, as the Twins have, with a walk and an error. And we'll see if the Twins can get the 2-out hit that the Indians have been lacking in the middle innings. 1-1. Popped up near the Twins dugout and backing out of play. 1-2 to Plouffe.
Thank you. This is one of those at-bats that you can really hurt the other guy right here with a base hit. The pitcher's going to be very depressed. The team should be depressed. It's just a couple real, you don't mind the errors so much. Everybody makes an error, but for Cabrera to throw that ball to third base, that's not excusable.
To right field. Down for a hit. 1 run will score. Dozier coming back to tie the game, and Plouffe goes to second.
Wow.
There's the 2-out hit the Indians didn't get. The Twins got it from Plouffe to tie the game.
There's a very conservative play by Stubbs here in right field. I thought he was going to catch the ball, and he just sort of pulled up on it, let it fall in front of him. With 2 outs, Dozier's going to score easily on this ball, and very conservative play by the right fielder. Look at. Ay. These 4-day breaks, things happen.
Well, the Twins take advantage of the error and the 2-out walk to the number 9 batter. Go-ahead run at second, 2 away, and Mauer at the plate. He's been jammed twice by Kazmir and has hit 2 ground balls to second. Ball 1. A cleaner hit, incidentally, in the 6th, but more importantly, it drives in 2 runs to tie the game.
They're the ones that count. They're the ones that the pitcher makes, or the hitters make their money on, knocking in them runs. And Mikey Pelfrey's smiling a little bit. He got off the hook there.
1-0 to Mauer. And outside 2-0.
Ever since the trainer and the manager went out to the mound, things haven't gone too well for the Indian pitcher.
Some activity now in the Cleveland bullpen. This will be pitch number 100 for Kazmir.
I got asked this morning what I thought about Cleveland, whether I thought they had a chance. Well, sure, they got a chance. They're only a game and a half behind. You don't know what's going to happen, who's going to get hurt. But I raised the point that I just don't know if their defense is good enough to be successful. And boy, oh boy, tonight, just too, that grounder to third, they kind of, okay. But come on. And the play by Cabrera, that for me is really disturbing, especially by a veteran player to make that kind of play. That's the guy you need some leadership from. And just hold on to the ball, get the next guy, and go from there.
Even if Plouffe singles, then Dozier's at third instead of have scoring the second run.
Now you're in danger of falling behind with any kind of anything.
2-1 to Mauer. 3-1. Morneau on deck.
This seemed like a fairly easy play here. It wasn't made very well. And this is the worst part here. This is when it gets ugly. What are you doing? It's like we used to play in the minor leagues. We start playing the carnival music. That's what that was.
3-1 to Mauer. Ball 4. That fills first base and gets Morneau to the plate. The 2-out walk to Florimone has opened the door just a crack. The Twins have scored a couple, and now Mickey Callaway, the pitching coach, will make the first official trip to the mound. The first trip was a medical trip, and now Callaway will try to coax one more out from Kazmir here in the 6th.
He's getting near the end as well. You're right. This is just settle down. Let's get this guy out. We'll go from there.
He's gotten Morneau twice, once on a ground ball to short. The 5th, he threw maybe the best pitch he's thrown, a 95-mile-per-hour fastball down and away for a called third strike.
I agree. That was the best pitch of the night. Pitchers that can throw the ball in that spot certainly make a lot of money.
Happy to have Tom Kelly in the booth this weekend. Bert Blyleven taking some time off. It's Cooperstown induction weekend next weekend, so Bert will be back at the other end of that. Big spot here for Morneau. 0 for 2 against Kazmir.
All that stuff doesn't matter the first 2 at-bats. This is the one that counts.
Pick off to second, and they just barely missed getting Plouffe at second base. And missed barely throwing it into center field.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Barely. They're trying to maybe advance the runners again for us.
Down low, ball 1.
Well, it certainly has turned into a struggle. You miss a play or two, and the pitcher's not, I don't know why, but sometimes just can't help out the infielders a little bit. Get that last out on your own, and Kazmir certainly has had a hard time.
Lifted foul. 1-1. Mike Pelfrey, the Twin starter, couldn't get through 6 complete innings, and now Kazmir wobbling after 5 2/3. Foul back. Morneau would love another shot at that fastball.
Arga.
Foul back. With 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th, the Twins have gotten 4 straight base runners to reach. A walk, an error, a single, and another walk. 1-2 to Justin Morneau. A little roller to Cabrera, and that ends the inning. The Twins leave 2, but score 2. We're tied going to the 7th. Indians get the first 2 runs, and the Twins got the next 2. Scott Kazmir doing a good job for the Indians. Mike Pelfrey did a good job for the Twins, with the exception of this 2-run double off the bat of Michael Bourne.
Thank you.
Twins got a 2-run single from Trevor Plouffe. And so that's where we're at. 2-2. The Twins have gone to their bullpen. Brian Dunsing got what turned out to be an awfully big out to wrap up the 6th inning. And now he gives way to Jared Burton to start the 7th.
We sure need to thank the Indians for those 2 runs. That was the gift of the day.
CenturyLink linked to what's next. Jared Burton has been once again effective in a revised role for the Twins.
Now he's going to pitch the 7th inning here tonight. 0-0 ball game as far as I'm concerned. Starting over. I know it's 2-2, but back to square one.
Number 8 batter's Yan Gomes. He'll be followed by Drew Stubbs and Michael Bourne. Breaking ball, hitting the corner, strike 1. Gomes with a strikeout in the 3rd, hit a ground ball to Plouffe in the 5th. Problem hasn't been the number 8 batter. It's been Drew Stubbs hitting behind him. He hasn't gotten a hit, but he's reached twice and scored once. That's the changeup.
Yeah, that's a nasty pitch he throws. The ball sinks and dives. Good luck.
And it's 88, 89 miles per hour. It's unlike any other changeup you're going to see. Throws it so hard. It's about 4 miles per hour off his fastball, which is delivered now outside. 1-2.
The thing moves so much. That's what makes it so deceptive. The bottom just falls out of it. It's, you know, if you're up there in that swing mode, you're going to have a problem hitting that thing.
1-2 to the Cleveland catcher. And a high fastball at 94 got him. 1 away. 1 down in the 7th. Let's go to Jamie Hirsch.
Hey guys, well, it's a special night here at Target Field, bobblehead night, and it's Mauer and Morneau, a double bobblehead. The first 10,000 fans here tonight received one of these, and I actually ran into some of the fans on my way into the ballpark this afternoon. They said they'd been sitting there since about 7 o'clock this morning. The very first guys, though, got here at 11:30 yesterday morning, and they said they wanted to sit in the shade, so that was why they wanted to get here so early. But I also got a chance to ask Joe Mauer what he thought of the bobblehead. He said he thinks they did a pretty good job. He thought it was cool. He said he had never seen one with 2 players involved, and if there's anyone he'd want to be involved with them, it's his buddy Justin.
1 strike. Thank you, Jamie. Stubbs takes outside. Now, when you were growing up in Jersey and you went to a big league game,
yes, sir.
You went to Yankee games, I presume?
Giants, New York Giants, the old Polo Grounds, and the Yankee Stadium. That's correct.
1-1. Did you collect any of the original bobbleheads? They were what I suppose early 60s.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't remember. No, we didn't get no bobbleheads.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, they didn't give them away. You had to buy them, but they were like $2.
Well, that took care of that.
Yeah.
We had money to get on the train to get up to New York City. Then you had money to get to the subway, and then you had money for a drink, and then money to get the reverse trip. So that was it.
And Burton strikes out Stubbs. 2 down.
Burton moving the ball up, down, all around, and the Indians having trouble staying focused on it. That ball was up in the zone, and Stubbs couldn't catch up with it. Jarrett throwing the ball down very well with that change-up thing he throws, and it disappears, and then he throws the fastball up in the zone. Makes it very tough.
Michael Bourne 2 for 3, including the 2-run double that gave the Indians the early lead. 1-0.
It's a big inning for the Twins. You get to score the 2 runs in the previous inning, and now you get a chance to come in and get 3 outs and get off the field, and an opportunity to get to the lead.
2-0. At the knees, a strike.
Obviously, he was taken on that pitch. I don't know why, because there's 2 outs, good chance to hit a double, get in scoring position right away. And that was basically the same pitch he hit last time for a double, and this one he let go.
Slider hits the corner. 2-2.
Try to hit these other things now. Good luck.
Popped up. Blue chasing it, but it's back and out of play. Kazmir looks on. 2-2 to Michael Bourne. Got him. Couldn't do better than Jared Burton did in the 7th. He struck out the side. 3 swinging strikeouts. It seemed inevitable when we were in New York, but the Yankees tried to avoid doing this. Today they did it. They put Derek Jeter back on the disabled list, this time with a right quad strain. He did not play against the Twins prior to the break. Played in 1 game. The ankle seemed fine, but the quadricep was the issue that put him on the disabled list, so they'll have to continue on without a guy who just means the world to that team.
Yeah, it's quite a different lineup over there in New York without that fella in there. First baseman out, third baseman out.
Tony Allen comes in. He's part of a pretty good bullpen. The leaks that they've had have been at the very end with 17 blown saves. He'll face Ryan Doumit, Chris Colabello, and Aaron Hicks here in the 7th. There really has not been a well-hit ball off the bat of a Twins hitter all night long. The Twins got a couple of runs. As Tom said, they were gifted to the Twins. They tied the game, but Kazmir pretty much bottled up the Twins lineup again. And Doumit, boy, Gomes got, he's lucky he didn't get hit in the mask with that.
4 days off.
Watch this.
This isn't pretty. Oh, gosh.
Ball 1. And now ball 2.
That looked like the pitch he tried to swing at for strike 3 last time.
Doumit on the night, a pop up to second and a ground ball to third. chopped off the plate.
Set name. Ryan got a little excited there. I think his pitch is just a touch outside part of the plate. He looked like he tried to hook it, maybe hit one really good, and it wasn't a real good pitch to do that on. So let's get back up the middle, use the whole field.
Swing and a miss, 2-2. Burton cut down the Indians 1-2-3 in the 7th. Casey Fiend warming up presumably for the 8th inning. Between that and then the bottom of the 7th for the Twins, starting with Dillman, then Colabello and Hicks. Ripped to center, a solid single, the best contact the Twins have had tonight.
Correct. This pitch is right down the center of the plate. We saw Mr. Allen get the ball down and away from Ryan to get 2 strikes on him. This is just an awful pitch. This was right in the center of the plate. Wow. I don't think you could put it on the tee any better for you T-ball players. That was right on the tee. Wham. That's what happened.
Colabello's hit it into the ground twice. Once to second, once to third.
Certainly not a bunting situation for Mr. Cabello, but Colabello.
Bad foul.
He didn't come up here to bunt, did he?
No, he didn't do much of it in AAA. He was contending for the International League Triple Crown.
For sure. Gaudy number. How's that, gaudy number?
That's a nice word. That's a very nice word.
Thanks. Try to come up with something for tomorrow.
Is that your word for the night?
I guess it might have to be.
1 strike to Colabello. Breaking ball over for strike 2.
That's that inside breaking ball. It starts at the hitter's hip, and well, not so much at Chris's hip because he's so far away from the plate, but tries to nick the inside part, and it sure did. Nice pitch.
Checked his swing, or did he? Just barely.
Go take it.
1-2. Yep.
Good call by the first base umpire. Gary Darling, I believe.
Yep. Gary Darling, the first base ump. He'll get the plate tomorrow night. 1-2. Time call.
I'm going to put the clock on there. Mr. Allen out there pitching. Just see how quick he is to home. Not that Ryan is going to do any running first, but just for future reference, you never know what's going to happen this inning.
Well, Hicks is hitting third in this inning. He may find his way on first base.
Correct. Look at this pitch. My goodness gracious.
A very wild pitch. It went over the catch.
What Euchre say, just missed, or just a bit outside, or high, or
he went over the catcher's head twice.
My goodness gracious!
Don't see many pitchers do that.
One's going and one's coming back. Look at the umpire. Yikes! Wow, that was exotic. I guess that's a backup slider that didn't do much of backing up or anything.
The Indians lead the world in wild pitches. That's their 52nd wild pitch.
And I think we all know their bullpen has been their Achilles heel this season, and we're getting the first glimpse of it right now.
2-2 to Colabello. Pain to the corner, 1 away.
Chris had 2 strikes on him and everything, and you sure hope we can. He had one chance to probably advance the runner, and you got to protect the plate a little bit better than that. That's too good of a pitch to take.
Hicks, the batter, soft line drive to right, leading off to third, and a pop up to second in the 6th.
First time left-handed tonight for Aaron. Previous 2 at bats from the right side.
Down and away, ball one. Hicks from this side of the plate, hitting 187 from the right side, 232 coming into play today. You can see the 0 for 2 has dropped his right-handed batting average down to 214. But 4 home runs from each side of the plate. Like to see that. Chance to drive in a big run here in the 7th. Check swing and a strike.
Yeah, we need one to the outfield grass here. Give our third base coach Joe Vavra an opportunity to read it and see if we can get Mr. Dillman home from second base here.
One and one to Aaron Hicks. Poked foul down the left field line, 1-2.
Casey Fiend's warming up in earnest out there. Richard, I believe Bert must be done. Perfect inning. 2 strikeouts.
1-2 to Hicks. Bounce to third. Chisenhall gets another chance. Fires across, just barely getting Hicks, and on the play, Doman will go to third.
Well, that wasn't very attractive either.
Chisenhall nearly delayed his throw long enough.
Well, you know, and actually, I think our second baseman Kipnis sort of wanted that throw to him. Watch it, you can see it on the replay. Doman's like halfway, and why he elected to throw this ball to first, I don't know, but he certainly could have done something with Doman if he so desired. But you take your sure out, but it was anything but a sure out, that's for sure.
Thomas takes ball one. One and 0 to Cleve Thomas. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
Center fielder Michael Bourne out there shaded quite a bit towards left center. Left field is pretty straight. Right field is pretty straight. So looks like the empty space is out there in right central a little bit. We need good solid contact. See if we can get this run home.
I'm going to drop a diamond cutter on you. How about that?
Diamond cutter works.
Tom's term for a base hit up the middle.
Line drive up the middle would be a diamond cutter, and we certainly could use one of those, or anything in the outfield grass.
2-1 to Cleve Thomas. Swing and a foul tip, 2-2.
That's a real good pitch by Allen. 94 right on the outside corner. And it looks like cleats might be leaking out a little bit here, Richard. Watch his fade away from the ball a little bit. That's nasty. Real good velocity and live, very live fastball. You don't think he'll throw that funny pitch he threw a little bit ago?
Another wild pitch. Down the middle of strike. Thomas called out on strikes. Doman left at third. It's still 2 apiece. bullpen.com. You can read the answers to your questions in Tyler Mason's midseason mailbag. Also the latest in the Viking training camp preview series, safeties. And we go to the 8th inning in a tie game. First game out of the break and first appearance of the unofficial second half for right-hander Casey Fiend.
Jared Burton with 3 punch-outs in this inning of work. Dominated the inning. In case you can follow him up.
He'll face Drupal Cabrera, Jason Kipnis, and Nick Swisher in the 8th.
Cabrera, as you pointed out earlier, Dick, hit the ball hard twice and then struck out. But his first 2 at-bats, he put it in play with a couple pretty good swings.
Inside, ball 1.
It's always big to get the first guy out in each inning. It really changes the inning. If the first guy gets on, it opens up the door for the opposing manager to do a lot of different things.
Strike called, 1-1. Kansas City shutting out Detroit 1-0. Top of the 9th inning at Kauffman Stadium. Pulled foul, 1-2.
You know, I look up on the scoreboard there, and there's a few games where people scored some runs at 8-5, Tampa over Toronto, and
right.
Somebody's got 13 up there. Phillies and the Mets, 13-8. They didn't have any trouble hitting tonight, that's for sure. So my theory might be out the window after 4 days off. Unless that right fella for the Mets knocked in all the runs. But the Phillies got 13th spot.
Check swing. They'll appeal. No swing, 2-2. You look at what's happened to the Mets, and you can project what the Twins' schedule might look like in July next year. The Mets were on the road leading up to the break, and then the All-Star game at Citi Field, and now the Mets will be at home for at least a little while. At the knees, and Cabrera's called out on strikes, and it's his turn to complain to Chris Conroy.
I'd like to see this one again, but my goodness gracious. Too low?
Foxtrax has it right there at the knees.
Like a very close pitch. Number of pitches by both teams have taken, guys taking strike 3.
Kipnis, the batter, 0 for 3.
That's 4 punch-outs in a row for the Indians.
Kipnis with a fly to center, ground ball to short, and a fly to left. Ball 1.
Just for the fans that worry about defense a little bit, Justin Moore knows about 2 steps off the line at first, guarding against a double.
Down low, 2-0.
Trevor's even with the bag, playing pretty much straight up.
Inside, 3-0. With Swisher on deck.
First baseman. Late in a game like this, the manager may elect to guard the line a little bit. Left-hand hitting. Kipnis is up, and Gardy's elected to have Justin move over a touch just to protect against the double.
3-1.
Big job by the pitcher here, Casey Fiend, is to make sure he gets it in play. No free passes, no walks. Make them hit their way on. Hits are very hard to come by this evening, so let's make them hit it.
Popped up, fouling on a play, and that in reality is one of Fiend's strengths coming into the game. 38 2/3 innings, only 7 walks, and 2 of those were intentional.
You know, he might be one of the MVPs out there in the bullpen this year. His first half, especially, he's done just a terrific job.
And of course, as Burton's role has changed, Fiend's has changed too. He's more or less assumed Jared's old role.
Switched it.
3-2 to Kipnis, and he walked him. A rare walk issued by Fiend with 1 out.
Looked like that backdoor breaking ball that we tried, and it just didn't make it home, and he just left it outside just a touch.
Famed car customizer Ryan Friedlinghouse and his crew at West Coast Customs continue to take common vehicles from ordinary to extraordinary in West Coast Customs. Each episode brings viewers inside one of the most dynamic car shops in the world. Don't miss a new episode on Sunday. Not even they could do anything with my '62 Chevy Bel Air. Here is Swisher. Struck out twice and hit a fly ball to center. On the outside corner, a strike.
He's had a pretty rough go here tonight, Swisher. He's argued with the umpire a few times. He didn't like that one either. So let's keep him in a bad mood here and see if he can hit that, maybe that little rollover swing, and we get the 4-6-3.
One and one.
Casey does a good job of holding the runner. He's fairly quick to home. He incorporates the slide step, makes it difficult to run. And I don't know how much Terry Francona wants to do hit and run wise with some of his players, but I can't see Swisher doing too much of that.
One and one. The next Swisher, 2-1. Feen uncharacteristically struggling with his control. 14 pitches, only 6 strikes.
Yeah, he's a little quick on that one, Dick. He was real quick to home. It was under a second to home. He is quick, but it looked like he rushed that one a touch and left the ball up. Usually pitchers that use that slide step, they have a tendency to maybe leave it up a touch.
Full leg kick here, and then a wicked smash hook foul.
That's the best swing that Swisher's had tonight. He put a good swing on that one and hit it hard. I wouldn't be surprised to see Casey go back to that backdoor breaking ball, try to see if he can hook the outside corner and see if we can get Mr. Swisher to roll one over.
Two and two. Checked his swing, just missed the corner, a full count.
Well, I think Joe wanted it inside, and that one was up and away, so I think he missed his spot by quite a bit. You watch Joe sit inside here and down, and the pitch, and see Joe reach for it. That's missing your spot.
Kipnis a good base stealer. We'll see if he takes off here on 3 and 2.
I think they have to try to do something here. Jumpstart their offense.
There he goes, and it's a swing and a miss. Mauer's throw right on the bag. Wow. Strike him out, throw him out. And Mauer couldn't have run the ball out to second base any better than he did.
Inviting you to stick around after the game for Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink, as we break down everything you've seen here tonight. Twins hoping to stop the streak, and we're talking, of course, about the streak of bad outings, really, from the Twins on Friday nights. They are winless on Friday night so far this season, hoping to get their first Friday night win tonight. We'll also take a look at the bullpen. They are back at it, dominating out there on the field. And, of course, we'll hear from manager Ron Gardenhire and get his thoughts after the game.
All right, thank you, Jamie. Ron Gardenhire looking at the lineup card, trying to find some move he can make to squeeze a run across against right-hander Joe Smith.
You see Joe's numbers there. He's been in 41 games, so Terry Francona likes him. He likes to use him, so he must have a lot of confidence in him, and his numbers, I guess, give us some verification to that. He's done a nice job.
Very low opponent batting average.
Everything good.
Kind of a side-winding right-hander. He'll face Florimon, Dozier, and Plouffe here in the Twins' 8th. Fastball at the knees, a strike.
He said sidewinder, Under Armour, sidewinder, whatever you want to call it. He comes way down under there and scrapes his knuckles on the end of the mound there.
Tried to wrap a breaking ball around. He missed. You had Terry Leach,
yep,
the 91 team, who had similar style of delivery.
Did a wonderful job for us that season. And, very reliable guy. He always poured his heart out into the game, into the outing. Great job.
2-1 to Florimon.
Guys like Keith Atherton, those kind of guys. Very, very valuable to the bullpen and the pitching staff.
Oh, nearly hit him. 3-1. Then in '87, you got Dan Schatzeder, a left-handed veteran guy. I know he was asked to get some big outs down the stretch for you guys. Did a great job.
How about that day in Detroit? Coming
in the playoffs.
After Bert, and did just a wonderful job. Sparky had all them lefties in the game, and should get Schatzeder in here, and he did just a fantastic job.
About 8 feet foul. Florimon poking one past third base. 3-2.
Get that leadoff runner on base here. I think we'll have some action with Dozier. I'm sure Gardy's got the wheels turning. Probably going to see a bunt and then turn it over to Trevor and Joe and see if they can get the run home.
Full count to the leadoff man in the 8th, and he bounces it foul.
It's a real nice pitch, 89 and sinking, and that's nasty.
Another 3-2 to Florimon. To left center field, nobody home. Cut off by Bourne. Florimon digs for. He holds up with a single. Bourne got there, and Florimon, even though the throw was kind of rainbow back to the infield, Florimon checked up with a single.
I think he might have put the brakes on a little too soon. If you can read that throw just a touch, but he put the brakes on and elected to stay. You know, hindsight's always 20/20, but again, Bourne's going to his right, Even with the trip going around first, I still think he was in pretty good shape, especially with the outfielder going to his right and have to throw the ball back to his left. And I think it's 100% that we're going to bunt.
Chisenhall in on the grass, and Smith submarines his throw over to first.
It was a nice base hit. Start the inning.
Squaring early and deadening the ball, but it trickles foul. 1 strike.
I think this is a hard guy to maybe hit and run on, so I think the safest play is probably to bunt, especially with the guy throwing some sidearm underneath, so we don't really get to look at these guys too often, so our best option is probably to lay the ball down.
1 strike to Dozier.
Wow. They must suspect a hit and run or something over in the dugout. Throw over twice like that. You throw over usually once. The batter gives it away that he's going to bunt. It sort of reaffirms maybe some things that you're thinking, and you square around too soon, that sort of thing. And but to throw over twice is a little unusual.
Chop to Chisenhall. He looks at second, throws to first. The ball dropped by Swisher. It hit him right in the middle of the glove, and it bounced out.
Wow. Jesus creepy. Never know what's going to happen with you. Now what?
Chisenhall committed the costly error in the 6th when the Twins tied it, but you can't hang that on him. That was a perfect throw.
Gardy surprised everybody by taking the bunt off, and you see Swisher turn his head and look at second base before he caught the ball. That's why he missed it. It's a good lesson for all the kids out there watching. Keep your eye on the baseball. Catch the ball. It's the most important thing in the game. Catch the baseball.
And now Plouffe drove in the 2 runs in the 6th.
I believe the Indians think we're going to bunt, and then they'd have to walk Mauer and pitch to Morneau. And I'm sure they have a lefty down in the bullpen getting ready.
Plouffe takes a strike.
All right, got to watch the signs, see what Gardy decides to do here. Swisher's playing back, so I guess he thinks we're going to swing.
Bounce to the right side. And a double play. Florimon at third with 2 away. Second time that the Twins have hit into a double play. Mauer did in the 4th inning, but here he'll come up with a runner at third and 2 away, and Mickey Callaway is going to talk about it with Joe Smith.
Well, I don't know if I understand too much about what goes on in the game much anymore, but again, I guess we're having this major meeting to discuss what we're going to do here with Joe and the ever dangerous Justin Morneau's on deck. So, you know, what's the difference here? You know, pick your poison. It sounds or it looks to me like they're going to be fancy here with Joe, and that's always dangerous. And then bring the lefty in to pitch to Morneau. Is that what we're doing?
They have one left-hander in the bullpen, Hill.
Yeah. And that's him. Warming up.
Rich Hill.
So we'll see how they play it here, Richard. But again, I have to think that you're not going to pitch to Joe, correct? Oh, they're going to fool.
Gomes down in the squatting position.
I never liked this at all. Either if you pitch to him, you try to get him out, or that's the backdoor breaking ball.
Missing ball 1.
Well, maybe they're going to go after him. Running from third, be ready for the ball in the dirt.
At the knees, a strike.
Well, I guess they've elected to go after Joe.
Oh for 2, couple of ground balls to second, one of them a double play grounder, and then a walk in the 6th. Strike 2.
It looks harder than that 81 they put up on the board. It sure does. Must be the ankle.
Very high, and it's 2-2.
Boy, I thought that was going to be the one we saw last inning with the ball went over the catcher's head twice. That was interesting.
Mauer's been with the Smith has been with the Indians a long time, and Mauer's had only 1 at bat against him. 0 for 1. To center, a base hit.
That's how it happens.
They pitched to him and paid the price.
Unbelievable. I believe this is that breaking ball, and I think it just spins right across the plate. And Joe laced it. And Dick, that's that diamond cutter you were looking for last night. There it is. There we go. There it comes. Boom. One of the better two-strike hitters the game's seen. And he delivers again. Well, never know.
And Morneau shoots it the other way. A fair ball into the corner. Bauer to third. Morneau digging for second, and the throw offline. It's a double, and the Indians caught a break. And that ball not hit the sidewall and gone into the corner. Bauer might have been able to score.
That's absolutely right, Dick. It did hit, like you pointed out, hit the sidewall. And give Brantley some credit out there. He played that ball pretty good. I don't know about throwing it to second because that was dangerous. If something happens down there at second, Joe can scoot home, but they got away with that one. That's a big pick-me-up after the double play, that's for sure.
And now Domet. One of the needs the Indians figure to satisfy before they get too far along here is another left-handed reliever. And maybe the fact that they had just one figured into the decision-making here to pitch to Mauer and then pitch to Morneau. Domet will be walked now to get Colabello to the plate.
It's obvious that the manager has more confidence in Smith than he does Hill. That's the bottom line.
Well, you saw Hill's numbers, an ERA of over 6.
Yeah, it's just the way it is. He just didn't get it done. Facing one of the better hitters in the game, and Mauer, and then followed up with Morneau. It's just one of those weaknesses that we talked about earlier today. The Indian bullpen and their defense maybe not being maybe exactly what you're looking for to be a pennant contender.
Glenn Perkins is warmed up. He was going to pitch the ninth regardless, and now he's got a lead.
Absolutely.
And Chris Colabello has a chance to get the biggest hit of his major league career.
So far.
2 ground outs and a strikeout. He was called out on strikes with Domet aboard in the 7th.
Yeah, it's a tough guy here, too. He throws this underarm thing, and tough on the righty.
And I promised our viewers I would keep mentioning it until it happens. Twins are the only team in the league without a grand slam.
This is a tough order here. He's going to have to hang one, I think, to have that happen.
Swing and a miss, 2 strikes.
Chris was going to get a swing in on that one. That's for
sure. 0-2 to Colabello with the bases loaded.
Mistake pitch.
Chop to the right side, and Swisher grabs it, sliding to the seat of his pants.
Having a hell of a day.
Twins take the lead. Stay tuned for the Gander Mountain Weekend Weather Update for Twins territory. night, we asked you, what did Brian Dozier do over the All-Star break? Most of you thought he got caught up on American Idol. He gives us the real answer.
I went home to Mississippi, took my niece and nephew swimming and golfing the first 2 days, and I took myself swimming the next day. So a lot of relaxing, hanging out with the family and stuff, so it's always good to see them.
Dozier back in the baseball mode here. The Twins with a 1-run lead going to the 9th inning, and Glenn Perkins didn't get a chance to pitch in the All-Star game. He will get a chance to pitch tonight. He'll face Brantley, Santana, and Chisenhall here in the Cleveland 9th inning.
And I said hope to see you in the 9th. Here we are.
Brantley has reached twice, a walk in the 4th, a single in the 6th. Strike one.
Guardy's elected to play a little bit off the lines here, so we're going to count on Perk keeping the ball in the middle part of the field, and Brantley, if he does hit the ball, and towards the middle part of the field. I like it.
Flared to left. Florimon with a sensational catch. What a great catch by Pedro Florimon.
Well, this is what it's all about, is making the plays you're supposed to make, and every once in a while make a real good one. That's two. That's two tonight for Florimon. If you remember back early in the game, he came charging in, barehanded the ball, made the play at first. And here we're laid out like Superman, and what a big first out.
A single that started the 8th inning rally, and a great catch for the first out of the 9th. Carlos Santana will bat next.
Batting right-handed, and Guardy's elected to have Trevor move over and guard the line somewhat here, protecting against that double. Outfielders are a step or two deeper than they would be. Try to cut the ball off in the gaps. No doubles.
Down the middle, a strike. 96 miles per hour.
And he can't throw it much better than that one there. The ball come out of his hand just like live, very live. Excellent pitch.
Perkins' numbers overwhelmingly tougher against right-handed batters than left-handed batters.
Look at that.
And now Dozier will get a chance on a soft line drive. 2 down.
One more of those, please.
Mark Reynolds, who hasn't started 4 games in a row for the Indians, is going to pinch hit for Lonnie Chisenhall.
Well, we all know about this fella. He's either hits it really good or doesn't hit it at all. They did get a few hits last time in Cleveland. He got some base hits up the middle of the field. But he's up there for one thing and one thing only right now.
308 at bats, 113 strikeouts.
Boy, that'd give you the shake right there. Ooh.
I don't know. There's a strike on the inside corner. I don't know that I've seen a left-handed pitcher, whether it be a starter or a reliever, who so relentlessly pounds the ball inside to right-handed batters like Glenn Perkins does.
Well, he's got that good slider, too, to back it up, so he can burn it in there, power it in there. There you go. That's the breaking ball.
Mauer set up inside. The pitch delivered outside, but it was taken for a strike.
I think we got away with one there a little bit, Dick.
Twins nearly sold this place out tonight. Foul back.
Make no mistake, this fellow is very dangerous. Lucas guarding the line.
Struck him out.
He didn't hit that one.
And the Twins come back with an